everybody.
Hey, everybody.
It is Coach Logan and Coach Abby.
Coach Logan, Coach Abby.
And we're here today to talk about carbohydrates.
Yum.
Yes. So, starting off with daily recommendations for carbs, it's pretty difficult to give a generalized idea or a generalized prescription for that because it is super specific to goals, to people, basically how much energy you use on a daily basis and all of those kinds of things. So, so it's pretty specific.
It's very specific to what you need. Whatever gives you energy and allows for you to do the things that you need
and
to
recover
day to day,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that might be.
Mm-hmm.
Carbs are energy source, and that's as they should be applied. So,
Yep.
Some people don't need any. Some people need a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends.
Yep. Fuel.
You do need a little bit though.
Yeah,
Your
definitely.
brain optimally
Yes.
operates
Yes.
with carbs.
No carbs is
Keto, but that's another topic for another day.
yeah.
So,
Mostly we want to talk about sources of carbohydrates, what's healthy, how they affect your body, and all those kinds of things. So, take it away.
So looking through the lens of health, most of your carbohydrates, if not all of your carbohydrates, should be coming from whole food sources. And so whether that be plant-based carbohydrates in the forms of fruit, vegetables,
Potatoes.
quinoa, potatoes, quinoa. You can do it in the form of other things as long as there's not other macronutrients that take over. So, Joaquin.
Yeah. Sorry.
No.
I'm just laughing.
So, if you want to think of it as simple carbohydrates versus complex carbohydrates, the best way to think of it is fast absorbing versus slow absorbing.
Mm-hmm.
So, some simple carbohydrates, Abby, would be
Candy, sugar, gummies.
Simple,
My
fast
favorites.
absorbing things that maybe if you're into athletics you might need to recover, or if you need them for high power output for a workout or something like that.
Sometimes people need, if you're like in endurance sports too, like taking in simple carbohydrates while you're like doing the endurance sport or the event is really important just to sustain your energy and can keep you fueled so you're not running out of any source of carbohydrate as you go through.
Mm-hmm.
So those can definitely be used for performance and
Yes.
deliciousness.
And then other simple forms would be citrus, fast absorbing.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Fruits like that. As long as they're not berries and high in fiber, the absorption rates will be pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to get it in quickly. Rice, did you mention rice?
I did not mention rice.
Rice is a very simple carbohydrate. Cereal is a very simple carbohydrate. If you ever have cereal and you feel a crash afterwards, it's because that's what it is. It's made for bread. Some of those are going to be very simple carbohydrates. In Europe, they deemed bread from Subway to be a dessert. So have that because
Didn't
it's
know that.
very much a simple carbohydrate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Ireland specifically. But other forms of carbs would be complex carbohydrates, slower absorbing, more sustainable energy is the idea there.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking about things that would actually be a little bit heavier in fiber, which will slow the absorption. So vegetables, I can't get, having a liner.
Vegetables
Are harder to absorb quickly, as well as the berries, the fruits, things of that nature.
Blackberries. Right?
Potatoes are kind of in the middle of that area. Brown rice is kind of in the middle of that area.
Potato.
Sweet potatoes, and then based off of how you cook things, there can be things that can adjust that. And then there was one thing I wanted to touch on. Sugar alcohols and sugar-free substances, the things that people think could be bad for their gut biome and things like that, is way better to have those. So if you like diet soda, drink diet soda. If you like sugar-free syrups like I do, go ahead and consume them. That is my bias for sure. I like them, but the only caveat is sugar alcohol sometimes can be heavy on the digestion. They are hydrophilic, which means they love water. So they will pull water into your gastric intestinal tract, and what that could mean if water gets into your gastrointestinal tract and it's too much, then you have to deal with that on the toilet. So considerations for anything that's sugar alcohol. So
It'll say on the label on the back in the nutrition facts.
It'll say tall of some sort, erythritol, sorbitol, all those things.
Yep.
So carbohydrates are meant to support any specific goals that you have. Make sure that they're coming from whole food sources, vegetables, fruits, non-processed things. And
Yep. It's your day-to-day fuel and energy.
Cognition.
Yep.
All this
Focus, along with the sunshine, like we talked about. But yeah.
Length of it.
There's also you can also kind of pay attention to when you, like Logan mentioned with the cereal. If you have a big bowl of cereal for breakfast and then you have a crash at like 10:30 a.m. and you can't do any work, take note of that type of carbohydrate that you ate at that time of the day and maybe shift it to bedtime, and maybe you'll feel better having a big bowl of cereal before you go to bed versus having a big bowl of cereal and trying to get some work done or trying to work out or whatever it is. Work out, maybe not.
Yeah. You can
yeah.
have carbs before you go to bed.
Yeah,
We talked about this
definitely.
before,
Yeah. But just pay attention to how they affect you throughout the day, or even like a big lunch with a big bowl of rice or something like that. Just notice how the energy that is giving you feels.
Yep.
So you can refine that over time. Try out different things, try different sources, try them cooked different ways, all those kinds of things. So a little bit of a side tangent, but important nonetheless.
Dropped your pocket. Alright. Thanks, Josh.
Almost got me.
Yeah.
Alright, well, that's pretty much it. If anybody has any questions on carbohydrates in general, or about anything that we talked about today, put them in the comments and we will get back to you, or make another video on something more detailed if you need it. Let us know. Alright, bye everybody.
Bye.
Get some carbs.